DeFi, it's so hot right now. But how hot is it? How do we measure the size, success, or magnitude of a brand new market? I got 3 letters for you. TVL. The most popular metric for DeFi is the TVL, or Total Value Locked metric. TVL represents the total amount of assets locked in the various DeFi application smart contracts. The locked part can be deceiving because these assets aren't necessarily locked for any specific time. This just means that they are locked and secure in the DeFi smart contracts. Regardless, the metric is still important to identify how much capital is actually in use across the whole DeFi ecosystem. Where the hell did it come from? Well, DeFi polls popularized the metric during the 2019 bear market when there weren't that many eyeballs paying attention to DeFi like there is today. Back then, there was less than $400 million locked, and more than 90% of that was concentrated in a single application, MakerDAO. Today, there's almost $11 billion of TVL on the Ethereum DeFi ecosystem. The metric is divided into 5 product categories that form the bulk of what the DeFi applications are built on. Each category calculates its TVL slightly differently, from either deposited assets for lending protocols to minted assets for tokenization protocols. Here, I'm going to break down these 5 categories and show how TVL is calculated for each. Lending is the most used use case in the Ethereum DeFi ecosystem. Lending allows depositors to lend their valuable assets like ETH, wrapped Bitcoin, or Link to borrowers that collateralize their loans with their own locked assets. Borrowers are then given a credit line of up to 60% of their locked value. TVL in lending is measured by the amount of assets deposited into their smart contracts by the lenders and borrowers. Maker is the leader in this category with almost $2 billion locked in assets. That accounts for 2.39% of the total ETH in circulation and 14% of the total wrapped Bitcoin minted. Borrowers first deposit these assets to then borrow the DAI stablecoin from the protocol. Decentralized exchanges, or DEXs as the cool kids call them, climbed the ranks quickly this year to become a large part of the pie when calculating TVL. DEXs, powered by liquidity pools, have amassed over $4.4 billion of deposited assets in their smart contracts. TVL in decentralized exchanges is measured by the amount of assets deposited into the exchange's smart contracts. This includes order book type exchanges like Loopring and Diversify, but the liquidity pool exchanges like Uniswap, Curve, and Balancer are what break records when we measure TVLs. Uniswap is the leader in this category and the winner out of all the DeFi protocols with over $2.6 billion of locked assets. Uniswap's liquidity for ETH, wrapped Bitcoin, and FYI are even deeper than that of centralized exchange giants like Binance and Huobi. Derivatives have been a growing use case in DeFi because their products are tailored towards more advanced traders that are already well served in centralized finance. Derivatives allow asset deposits to power synthetic assets, future contracts, and options. TVL in derivatives protocols is measured by the amount of assets deposited into the smart contracts that provide the backing to synthetic assets or financial contracts. In options trading applications, users can deposit USDC to earn interest when traders buy the spreads to hold a position open. Don't worry, I don't understand a word of what I'm saying here either. Derivatives are confusing. Synthetics is the leader in this category with over $650 million in locked assets. Synthetics depositors stake or lock the SNX token to create synthetic assets like US dollars, euros, gold, and Bitcoin. Synthetics traders can then earn fees from the platform when their minted assets are traded or redeemed back to SNX for a fee. Payment protocols have yet to become a centerpiece of the DeFi ecosystem. Payment protocols are layer 2 solutions that allow for users to exchange transactions at a faster rate and cheaper fee, which is a need that has grown greatly due to Ethereum network congestion. TVL in payments is measured by the amount of assets deposited into their smart contracts that get moved over to the payment protocol's sidechain or Plasma implementation. Flexa is the leader in this category with over $141 million in locked assets. Flexa powers a payments protocol that allows depositors to use their crypto assets with popular merchants like Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and GameStop. GameStop, the blockbuster of Gen Z. The last category is assets. Assets are tokenized coins like Bitcoin and stablecoins that get newly minted onto the application smart contracts. Tokenizing assets like Bitcoin allows them to be used across the DeFi ecosystem, and tokenized stablecoins from yield protocols allows depositors to receive an equal representation of their deposited tokens. kinda like an IOU. TVL in assets is measured by the amount of tokens tokenized. These tokenized assets represent a one-to-one redemption of the underlying asset. Wrapped Bitcoin is the leader in this category with over $1 billion in Bitcoin tokenized on Ethereum. These tokenized Bitcoins are now used across lending and DEX's protocols and have become an essential part of the DeFi ecosystem. In summation, the TVL metric is a measure of the assets committed to a DeFi's application smart contract. There are some that find the metric confusing because each application may have a different view on what is considered in their custody, but overall, most of the DeFi community is satisfied with the current DeFi Pulse solution, where it counts the approved project's collateral anytime a user deposits it into a supported application. What do you think? Is total value locked the best metric to judge DeFi? Will it incentivize bad behavior like we saw with trading volume and wash trading for centralized exchanges? Let us know in the comments below. For REIMAGINE 2020, I'm Yonah Hochhauser. Make sure to check back here for all the latest blockchain news, interviews, and more. That was your word on the block.